One.
Hey guys, sorry I couldn't make it on Wednesday. I had a lot of things going on this week, so figured I'd take some time today and go over what I've been working on this week and maybe teach a little bit about Hibernate and sequence diagrams. The first part. I'll probably go over Hibernate, the first part of Hibernate, and then I'll probably do another video to explain the second part of Hibernate, and then I'll probably do another video to explain the sequence diagram. But this one, I'm going to go over Hibernate. So the first thing you need to do when doing Hibernate is you need to actually set up an XML file, and you need to do this in Eclipse. You need to create a new Eclipse file or a new XML file. And when you create the file, this is already going to be set up when you create the file. That's just automatically added in. But you're going to need this. And where you're going to get this from is this file right here. You're going to open this up, and when you open it up, I already have it opened up, but when you open it up, that file is going to look like this. At the top part, you need to copy and paste this over. This needs to be copy and pasted over into the file that you created. And so that's where I got this from. Okay. The second part you're going to need to do is you're going to need to get this information right here. These five things. These five things have to be within this folder in order for you to make connection with your database. These two things right here, you're not going to change, but these three you need to change. This right here is going to be basically this is going to tell you where to go to connect to your database. So in my case, I'm basically going to localhost, and then I'm going to the employee database. That's the name of the database. It's employee. Underneath of that, you're going to have your username to your database. In my case, it's Funsmill Emints, and that's the name of my database. Or not, that's my username to log into my database. And then this is my password to log into my database. That's the first file you need to create. You then need to come and create a second file. With that file that I was just telling, with that where I just discussed, um, it has to be this name right here, this hibernate.cfg.xml. The Hibernate, it can be whatever name you want to give it, but it has to have this .cfg.xml connection or extension. cfg.xml extension. It has to have that. That is critical. This next file you need to create, it's called, in my situation, I called it employee.hbm.xml. This right here, the employee, you can give it whatever name you want to give. In this case, I just gave it employee, but this extension, this .hbm.xml extension, it has to be that. And that the HBM stands for Hibernate Mapping. And so in this one, this is where that last file I showed you, that maps us to our database. This is going to map us to our table and to our columns within that database. And so if I come over here, this right here is created when you create your XML file, and this is also going to be created within Eclipse. This right here is automatically added in. This right here you have to add in, and just like I showed you on that last one, you have to get it from this file. Well, last one we got it from this file, but this time we need it from this file. And I already have that opened up in Eclipse. And that's just this right here is we just basically need to copy and paste this over, which is exactly what I did. And that's this line right here is what you see. Underneath of that, we need to give a Hibernate mapping tag. And then right here, we close a Hibernate mapping class, mapping tag, and then we need to create a class tag, and then we need to close the class tag, and and then in this class tag we basically need to name it. We need to give it a name. I believe it's the name of the name of the database, which that's actually wrong in this case. My database isn't called that; it's called something else. But the table, this is correct. My name of my table is employee. And so that's going to be the name of the table that you create within your database. And so you need to go into your database, which can have Oracle or MySQL. And basically, you need to create a table and create the columns. And with that last file I just showed you right here, I also forgot to mention that this file right here, this information you're going to get from a file within this file right here. In here, within here somewhere, I can't remember where it was at. It has information regarding this right here, and it changes based on the database you're using. In my case, I'm using MySQL, so I got this information from a file within that folder that had this information based on the fact that I'm using MySQL. Let's go back to here. Where is it at? Okay. Now, once you create the this right here, this table, so we have the table tag in it. Now, within here, we're going to create an ID, and this is basically going to be our primary key is what this is, and I gave it a name of ID. And that's basically a variable that we're setting up within another Java program that I'm going to discuss in the second part that we're going to create. And then we're going to give a column ID. And this is the column. This has to be linked to what you have it named in your table. And it has to be the exact name with the exact spelling, with the exact capitalization. And it's a type integer, which means it's a number type. And then underneath of that, we're going to do a property. And this also is connecting to a column within our table. In this case, this right here is a variable that I gave in another Java program. This right here, this column, is the column name that I have in my table, in my database. And then these two are the same way. And so that is how we set up this file right here. So the first file I showed you connects us to the database. This connects us to the table and columns within that database. And so that's it for this first part. I will make another video to do the second part of Hibernate.